Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day today, and today I would like to share a little unpackaging with you guys. Now the unpackaging knife is going to be my recently anodized Divo Buzz. This was done on accident. I know how to recreate it now, and it's a very organic process, I'll say, so it's very inconsistent in the flow, the look of it. It wasn't something that was done on purpose. I wanted to do just a teal because that is my favorite color, but it came out something else and it turned out that I actually really like how it looks. So now I have a very interesting looking Buzz. It's pretty cool. I still have my micro milled or the diamond knurled textured black scales, but I've just switched it up for the original ones that it came with. This is a knife coming from Vosteed, and I'm sure you guys will probably already know what this is, but this is the Vosteed Thornton. Just making sure I'm saying it right. This is a design collaboration with Wayne Sharpworld. Now, Wayne, he's an awesome dude. I have pretty much everybody else who makes content on Instagram, and I know it could be a slightly childish platform that some people unfortunately are moving out of, which is not a big deal. But I will say, out of every other content creator, Wayne is probably one of, no, there's two guys, but Wayne the most. He's one of the guys where I could just say anything to, send any kind of funny meme, and he sends stuff back to me. And it's just, we're always going back and forth with stupid shit that we're sending each other. And I try not to bombard him as much as I want to, because I always want to send him stuff because we have similar humor, at least I believe so. He's a great guy. I've done a lot of, like, just chatting with him, and he's just been a really friendly guy. So I definitely appreciate his kindness because it goes a long way, honestly, in this community. There are a couple other content creators that you almost gotta pay to play, like Tri-State. He won't respond unless you're subscribed or like actually on his Patreon, or like giving him money or sending him free shit. He's still a cool guy, and I watch plenty of his live streams and all his content and stuff. But that's just for example. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but he's one of the guys where you gotta kind of pay to play. Wayne, he's not like that. So cool little sticker. Nice little card. Manual here. Even Metal Complex. I think he's even commented on plenty of my stuff, and he's like almost impossible to get to because of his popularity. So the variation that I got, nice little packaging here. Very well padded. Comes with a little microfiber cloth. I like that a good bit. Let's actually show the little leather tag. Now, I only got this really just in support. It showed a little, I think the maker's mark, or just the Wayne Sharpworld stamped in it. Yeah, here it is. Check it out. So this is the little optional leather tag. Wayne Sharpworld. The little YouTube logo stamped there. Over here, WW, Vosteed Thornton. This is really cool. So it's nothing super fancy, nothing super special, but it's really just to rep the brand and support a wonderful content creator. And I would consider a friend. Let's get into the knife here. So there are 4 different variations. I believe this is the colorway that I went with. Black micarta and satin finish blade. I am not the biggest fan of satin, but plenty of people are. Not a big deal. Of course, it's just a personal preference. Let's give this blade a little wipe here just to be able to appreciate the nice clean cut lines. A little bit of oil, nothing crazy. Thank God Vosteed didn't drown it like other companies are doing at around this time of the year. This is a button lock knife. Very simple utilitarian shape overall. Studs for the deployment. You can also like gravity swing it. Oh, there's also the front flipper. I forgot about that. That's good. This is fun. I'm gonna have fun using this at work. See, reverse flick. That's nice. That's nice. Now, the only other Vosteed, from what I remember, that I've had on the channel was just the the raccoon when it first came out, and that's the knife that started all this button lock failure kind of stuff that went around. The button lock has definitely advanced since then and gotten a whole lot better, a good bit more consistent, but still there are some variations out there that are known to be a little spotty when it comes to the longevity of the actual lock and how solid it is after even a short period of time. This does have full steel liners on the inside. They are nested, so that is a premium aspect. I definitely appreciate that. Keeps it relatively thin in hand. There are a lot of holes in there for weight relief. Pretty cool. There is a quarter length matching material micarta backspacer. That's cool. You can see the, I guess that's a part of the actual steel liner there. And the T8 screw on this side, on that side. This is minimal hardware. That's actually pretty nice. Closed pivot on this side, T8 over here, and it looks like T6 for the pocket clip screws. That's a pass in my book. Would have been really cool if there was a milled titanium pocket clip, seeing as this is only a right-handed operation knife. I know in his content he did talk about why this didn't come to market in a left-handed variation, but I think for maybe a little bit more, a titanium pocket clip would have been pretty cool. In reality, at this price point, there's really nothing wrong with what this is. And it's going to go in and out of the pocket rather well. It's a little bit better design, a little cleaner design than what Civivi usually does on some of their stuff. I actually have an example of that right here. So Civivi is pretty low writing in the pocket, doesn't stick out as far, but it has this kind of like this little bill, right? And we know Metal Complex hates this freaking thing, right? This is something that's a little bit more preferable, and honestly I would think it'd be easier and simpler to manufacture. So it accomplishes the same thing. It's going to get snagged on things even less, and this is actually writing taller off of the actual surface, so this design could actually fit into thicker pant material, which is really cool. This, not so much. It's going to be a little snugger, a little tighter, and it can snag because of how it's kind of like, it like hooks onto things. And it's possible, it does happen. I've done it plenty of times, but they're usually really easy to bend back, so it's not that big of a deal. The action on this thing is running on ceramic bearings, I believe, and it's pretty darn good. I got nothing really to complain about it. It does feel a little crunchy. Yeah, mine is a little crunchy sounding, but you know what? I think after I take it apart, I clean it, it's probably just a little bit of like fibers from the actual micarta. Usually that clears out after you take it apart and clean it, or you could just wear it in and just leave it as is and just kind of ignore it. But me personally, I like modification. I like keeping things nice and clean and well maintained, well oiled and whatnot, well tuned. Let's check the centering. Looks pretty darn good to me. Maybe a tick to the clip side, not a big deal. This guy is around, I want to say, it's well under $100 for sure. I think it was around like 78 bucks or something like that. You can get it directly off of Vosteed's website, of course. That's where you can also get the little leather tag. But, and this is at an extra cost. I don't remember at the time of how much this costs, but I think these were limited as well. Again, it was a little thing just to show support. I did it, of course. But you can also find the Thornton on White Mountain knives. So you could use, of course, anybody's discount, 10% discount code. So it comes to be a little bit less, but you don't get the option of getting the tag. And I think White Mountain Knives is actually running out as we speak versus Vosteed. So there's that. And it got to me pretty quick. I think it was maybe like a week and a half or something. So I can be relatively impatient when it comes to receiving stuff, because in this hobby, everybody's kind of spoiled with, 2 to 3 day shipping, especially with Amazon. Amazon has definitely ruined the shipping industry for a lot of people when it comes to expectations of delivery time. But coming directly from the manufacturer, whether they were based here in the US or not, I don't remember. But you know what, it got to me pretty quick, and it seems like the world's ending with all this crazy rain that we've been having. I don't mind it as much. My water bill is basically zero, so I'm cool with it. So there's that. Yeah, I like this thing a good bit. I'm gonna be fidgeting with it a lot. After this video, I will be taking it apart just to clean it, just to check out the internals, but this thing feels great. It looks good. It has jimping here on the spine, and that's really just a part of the front flipper there, but it has some meaning once it's actually deployed. It's a little grabby, not too sharp, not too crisp, but just enough. The detent is on the lighter side for sure. All right, let's do some size comparisons. We'll check out the factory edge and we'll take the weight. Why not? We can do it up against my carry for today, which is the Divo Knives Buzz. It is on the dot, the same freaking length. That's awesome. So I'm definitely going to enjoy this. Something that I've recently had in, this is the Miguron Mayoral crossbar lock, which is a hair bit longer, I believe, than the original liner one, and is damn near the same as that in overall length. We could do a couple other medium-sized carry knives. Here we have the Vision FG by Civivi. The FG is just a hair bit longer, but you do have a large, forward finger troll there that is part of the blade. But the usable edge is damn near the same. So that's pretty cool to see that. So definitely like that. That is more than enough usable blade length for a urban carry, day-to-day knife. Not going to be anything for super hard use. This is just a good EDC simple design. Here we have the Wharncliffe Civivi Elementa. What else could we do? Just one more. Here, let's do this, guys. This is a White Mountain Knives exclusive. I'm just showing this off because really nobody else is talking about this variation. This is the Towser K Mini crossbar lock and frag tie. This is a hair bit longer overall, but still the good utilitarian oriented blade shape, which is my absolute favorite. So I think this thing came out pretty well. I think the translation into real world design was executed quite well. Not too sure if Vosteed was the company to go with. I think that there could have been a couple other manufacturers that could have made something similar and brought it to the market a little bit less, but that's just me. That's just pure speculation. I don't know how much it actually costs because I don't work with anybody. I'm not currently designing anything, but one day I would like to. So I think this is really cool, and I clearly love supporting things that are made by other channels. I've had a couple Divos. Not too many have actually stayed in the collection. I had the Stout version 1, upgraded it a bunch, sold it off to another content creator. The Buzz, of course, I got a bunch of upgraded parts, the back spacer, the exclusive knurled scales. What else? The mini, what was it? The mini Stout, I had that too for a little bit, sold it off. I enjoyed it while I had it for sure. And then what was the other thing that was made by the Result by LTK Lee over there? I love them knives. It was a really cool knife that was made in collaboration with the We Knife Co. But the blade shape just wasn't for me. It was very well executed knife. That thing was awesome. Of course, sold that off as well. But this, honestly, it's under my budget line, which is $100. This is well under $100, and I still think there's plenty of good here for sure. Let's take the weight on this real quick. And this is not a full review. This is just, I'm just speaking out loud what I feel, what I think about it as it is, out of the box. 3.4, nothing to complain about there. It's pretty good to me. I didn't even bother checking, like, rock solid. Up or down, nothing there. That's beautiful. Let's check movement in the pivot. I can muscle it, yeah, but in reality, there's nothing really there. So that may change over time, not a big deal. The way that these knives are made, there is something a little bit different about the actual button lock. It is still technically a plunge lock, but they're calling it something else. I forgot what it's called, but it's supposed to be a little bit sturdier than just the average back exposed plunge lock. So you see, you can't actually see it there. It's almost as if it's running on, it has an internal stop in a way. So a little bit more contact surface area there. supposed to have a longer lasting lockup life essentially, which is really cool. So maybe that was the reason why Wayne went ahead and did it with Vosteed, because they have their difference in design there. This has a good working finished edge, nothing super crazy, but definitely clean enough. I can definitely rock that for a couple days before I go ahead and put my own edge on there, because that's just something that I enjoy doing early on in having a knife. One thing I will say is that the plunge, it's pretty close there. I'd say after I go to sharpen this, and I'm not too sure what the actual what it's the angle that it's sharpened at currently, but I like something around anything below 20. So 19, 18, 17 degrees is preferred. The way that this is, it is pretty darn thin behind the edge. And as you go to sharpen it to make it even thinner behind the edge, or at the actual cutting edge, it might create a little bit of a smile there. But this is a user knife. This isn't super high end. If you really wanted to, because this is kind of like a internal stop design knife, you could actually widen that choil right there just to help when it comes to sharpening, making sure you're hitting all the way back. So that's definitely something that's really important to people who use their knives a lot. And when you fall in love with a design and you want to use it a lot, or you get a chip, or you accidentally do something inappropriate with it, you roll an edge really heavy, or you chip it, or you just want to go ahead and make this a laser beam of a knife and go down to 15, 16 degrees on the actual edge there to sharpen it all the way back. Yeah, that's something that I'd probably end up doing if this stays in the collection. So that is pretty cool. I think there isn't much else to talk about here. Wayne, great knife. I think this thing is awesome. I think I'm going to enjoy this quite a bit in the next couple days for work. I'm going to be fidgeting with it a lot. Might make some shorts with it in comparison with other stuff. But yeah, I think what you did here was pretty darn cool. A whole lot of fidget factor and usability. This is a practical design, nothing super crazy. It's really clean, and there's plenty to appreciate here. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I plan more videos of content coming your guys' way. And with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day.